Okay. The one thing you did mention is that you signed with an independent label, and I wanted to ask Kenya then how that came about, and did you guys sort of with your college degrees have a sense of, okay, we're signing with a label, so we're going to read a contract, make sure we get a good lawyer. Or did Steph almost fall down when I mentioned a lawyer?
No, my phone did. Sorry, I'm a phone fan.
Okay. It started off with us with AMG, as mentioned before. You know,
so this is 8Ball and AMG. Was that the same AMG with the 8Ball?
No, not MJG. Not MJG. This is
AMG with DJ Quick, High C, Second to None.
Okay.
That whole clique.
Those 90s artists, like 90, 92, you know, those artists, they were like early 90s, late 89.
Yeah,
I think. And we was on the West Coast. This was the West Coast vibe at that time.
Okay.
Yes.
So we traveled with AMG. We did a lot of things with him, and he led us to Greedy Greg's house, which was the independent label named Outburst. He brought us over there, and there was always artists coming in and out, performing. They had ciphers, rap ciphers, singing ciphers. So Stefanie and I would always join in the rapping cipher, and we would just have fun and display our skills. And Mo was singing. It was just so much fun. It was very natural and fun and free, and people were overhearing us. So they overheard us, and we were summoned to the house. You know, Greedy Greg wants to talk to you guys. And that was the connection. And then, you know, of course, it got down to the contract. And, you know, of course, by us being in college, we knew we needed a lawyer.
We read that contract and highlighted it, like highlighted.
We were looking up words we didn't understand.
And we knew we needed
because we read it ourselves too, but we also sent it to.
Yeah, because I feel my advice to your listeners is that just because you get a contract, don't just throw it to a lawyer. You know, you try to understand what's going on as well. Read it. You read it. Don't be lazy. Read it. Read what somebody gave you. You might know more than what you think you might know. And you can, and now you can Google up anything. But back then we had to look in the dictionary.
Right.
You had to look in Google anything. So you Google it. Stuff means, so you really get a lot of support to understand it. And before you give it to the attorney, which you need that too, you already kind of understand what you up against. Absolutely. You can relate the conversation and that dialogue.
And you know, another tip that I would like to share is know what you desire or want, and then ask your attorney, is it in there? You know, am I getting paid? How many dollars am I getting paid off the album? Does it say that in there? Or this is what I want, put it in there. You know, those types of things, because the contract is should not just be what they want or what they're going to give you. It should also be what you desire. And is it in there?
Yeah. And some of the things, you know, these contracts was terrible. You know, these contracts back then when we came out, they weren't good. No. You know, the attorney that we had at the time, we talk about that, and it's a funny story about that in our book. And you got to make sure you get an entertainment lawyer.
Yes.
You know, later on in our career, we really understood what was going on. We had a real entertainment lawyer.
We were using our resources. You know, we didn't. You know, we were using our resources. We had an attorney, but he wasn't an attorney. He wasn't an entertainment lawyer.
But he was a. So we talk about that. So it's funny now, but
he didn't have a manager.
Yeah. And you need those type of things. You know, we were kind of like, we did a lot of stuff for ourselves. You know, there was a lot of things we came, and as we start learning, as we start getting into the business and start meeting people, once again, going back to resources. But when you first start off and you like new, it's like you green. It's like you don't really know everything. You don't know what's going on. And so you can take advantage of and certain things like that.
Who do you trust? You know? Who do you trust? That's going to be the toughest role. There is no advice that anybody can really tell you.
Yeah. I mean, when I spoke to Mr. Dalvin, I said, how much of the business did you guys know? And he said 0. Dawn Robinson from En Vogue, she said they got 2 cents a record per girl. I mean, so everyone we've spoken to, I mean, 112 said, yep, everyone got taken in the 90s because we came out of the same neighborhood. No one knew about what a contract was. And even the lawyers, they they will say, yeah, this is a standard deal, but then it might be a standard deal, but it doesn't mean it's a good deal. And so that was the case. And I think Shanice said the more they knew, the less the labels wanted to deal with them, because they're like, oh, you know too much, so we're gonna.
I was just about to say that about what Shanice just said. I was about to say that, and that's the thing that happened with me. I was the one that knew a lot, you know, and I spoke my mind. So when you speak your mind, there's going to be things that stuff going to start getting stripped away from you, stripped away from artists, because we started knowing too much. Because I went to college. I'm like, wait a minute, I might not know the business, but I'm smart enough to know what's being said. Yeah, that makes sense logically. This doesn't. Yeah, my common sense, and I would speak on that. So that was something that, you know, things, because you know too much, like Shanice said, you're not going to get everything like the one we probably would have even been bigger if we was like yes people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we weren't yes people like that. We needed to know, because and so, you know, back then they think you a bitch. Excuse my language. You know, they don't respect people when, like, women. It's not fair for women. So I love these women today who's able to, because I was speaking out like them, but we weren't getting the respect because it was limited women doing it. It was masses of women that speak out now.
Yeah. No, Timmy Gatlin from Guy, he that's how he left, because the manager wanted to take his publishing, and he said, no, I need to read the contracts. And then, you know, that's how he was on the album cover, but he didn't come out with them, because they were like, he's a troublemaker. He wants to know too much.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately, we've been seeing and learning about this. So you get your lawyer. He sort of says, okay, you get that stuff done. Did you guys get to a compromise where you think, okay, it's okay for us to sign? We've got a few things that they've changed to make it acceptable for us to at least proceed with being signed to Outburst.
So
yeah. We did get a compromise. I mean, because like I said, but because we are writers, we shared some of the, you know, the publishing with the label, you know, so the label got a percentage and we got a percentage. So we worked it like that. But, you know, but really it's like now when you look forward, we should get 100% because we wrote everything. But we share, the actual label, they had a production deal with their producers that they brought in. So we split, you know, a portion of that with them, because they also was working like on a production side with their producers that they hired in-house for them. So they did little deals with them. And, you know, we got our points and we did escalating scales in our contracts. So we understood if we sold this amount, our stuff would be, you know, so we did things that, we did have things in there that was good. The thing that wasn't good for us is that we had to deal with sharing with He's Mine was a big song, one of our biggest songs. And we had to share our money with Roger Troutman and Prince. And being that we wrote that song all by ourselves, nobody had nothing to do with He's Mine as far as on the writing side. But on the production side, our producer really did not copy. So we had to kind of go back and forth with court with the production. Our producer was incredible. He replayed all these things, but they try to say we took that sample. So that was like a different, that's the thing that's a problem with our situation, where we should have made more money because we would have been, and our label as well, because we own the production, you know, the publishing rights of that. But when you have to share it, so there's the little twist what comes with that sample, and you got to be careful with that. And it was unfortunate that we didn't win. Our producer didn't win, and so it affected all of us. And we saw him live playing this, so it's unfortunate that he got that happened like that. And so I did not want the song. Just to give your listeners, I didn't want the song. I didn't want to do the song. Then we had to give them that much of a percentage.
Was this before it was released?
Yeah, before
it was kind of already released. It was kind of in the middle. It was kind of in the middle
being released. And I'm like, I don't even want to do it. Let's do something else. You know, that's you know, I love that song, but financially, when I look at the money part of it, I'm like, I don't love it that much. And I'm young. Imagine I'm a young kid. I'm young, thinking like this. You know what I mean? Wait, that's where the compliment.
Forget about it then. Let's do something else.
Right. So the compromise came in where we came in and just said, hey, let's just do He's Mine.
It's done.
It's done.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, but most importantly, to press the notification bell so that you can be notified when we do have a new interview. Loads to come, but thanks a lot for watching.